Welcome to the Faith Geek Podcast. The Faith Geek Podcast is your weekly source for all things current in geek culture. From entertainment to sports, parenting to religion. Be sure to check us out on the web by visiting www.thefaithgeek.com. Now, let us welcome Brent Whetstone and Joe Gerbery.
And good afternoon, and welcome to the Faith Geek Podcast. This is Brent Whetstone, and I'm joined today by my very good friend and sidekick. He's the Robin to the Batman. He is the...
We'll debate on that for whatever.
My dear friend, Joe Gerbery.
Gerbery.
And we actually have a special guest with us today.
You can see on video.
He's on video. Welcome
Woohoo.
to the Faith Geek Podcast for the very first time.
Yay.
Chris Ward Jr. Chris, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Chris, tell us about yourself. What's your role in the Faith Geek?
Oh, let's see. I take care of a lot of the entertainment articles. You've probably seen some of my reviews on movies like Son of God, Mr. Peabody, and likes of that.
Yes.
I'm just pretty much an all-around geek, I guess you could say.
What geek things are you into? Are you into the fantasy
What do you bring to the
sports?
table? No, that's me.
Thank
yeah,
God.
no, that's...
I
like
there's
sports.
only one room
I like
for
playing in
sports.
some sports, but I'm not as into sports as Joe is here.
Yeah. Nobody is in sports
it's
as much
an-
as
it's
I
an
am.
obsession.
Yeah, probably not. No, I have quite a wide range of things, really. I like everything from Star Wars and Star Trek to Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. I'm also a big gamer. I've been playing video games ever since I could pick up a controller.
What games do you play? What's your...
Mostly role-playing games, so like Final Fantasy a lot. Let's see, I play a lot of MMOs, World of Warcraft, Star Wars: The Old Republic. I do a lot of tabletop games as well. I've got a D&D group that I run weekly at a gaming store out this way.
Cool. What server are you playing on World of Warcraft? That way, for all of our WoW fans out there, they can look you up.
All of our fangirls that you want to follow you now.
Right, that's
all of
I actually
them.
don't have that memorized right now because I have a few servers I'm involved with.
Okay.
But I can tweet that later, though.
Cool. Yeah, check out Chris Ward on Twitter, and you could connect with him in the
What's your
virtual
tag?
world of
Twitter handle.
CK Ward 1883.
CK Ward 1883. I'm on Smolderthorn for anyone out there who is on that server for World of Warcraft, and I'm a 73 Death Knight, so I just got back into playing after about a year.
No idea what you guys
Yeah, and see, now you know how we feel when you're talking about
expansion.
oh yeah, I just traded this guy on my fantasy
made a
basketball
horrible
soccer team
mistake.
or something.
Oh! I gotta go. This is
Well,
bad.
yourself in between.
So we're excited. Chris is actually going to be filling in on the Faith Geek Podcast when either myself or Joe can't be here. So we wanted to bring him in today and introduce him to you guys. So you're who's this?
Why is
guy?
there a random guy there? Where's Joe? Where did Joe go? Because that's what everyone's wondering.
We'll do it,
right? That's what everyone's wondering?
And like we said
Right?
last week, Chris has like this fangirl base.
That was you that brought up that he has a
it's
fangirl base.
kind of news to me. I'm like, what?
Chris is very humble. Like, I've seen pictures of him at some of these cons where like all the Star Trek chicks are like hanging all over him.
I don't know about that, but
He's very humble. So if you're a fangirl, Chris is single, and he's in the fangirls. So
Yep, there you go.
Yeah,
Twitter
can't really
him.
deny that
Tweet
too much,
him.
But,
Twitter him.
Twitter him.
Twitter me.
Because there's no better way to say that. Twitter him.
Well, this is why we got our explicit rating, I guess.
Yeah, that would be it.
Jesus Christ.
iTunes.
Way to go. Cheese and rice.
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
understand.
Nah.
We launched the podcast on iTunes. I get a text from Brent Saturday night that said, hey, go to iTunes and check out Faith Geek, which I had because he told me it was going to be ready. So I was excited. Got it up as soon as I could. And as soon as I see a little red E, I'm like, what the crap? I'm like, because I was under the impression that it was actually something that iTunes puts out. I didn't know that you can claim your own self as explicit. And I see the little red E go, did we cuss at some point in time? I don't remember. Which then led to which then led to a string of texts between me and Brent where I gosh darn it, Brent, what are you doing here?
Out there.
Shut the front door. Why do we have and all that fun stuff. So
that was a minor oversight on my part. Our Christian-based program with ministers and lay people at the helm being rated explicit.
I'm a lay person.
There we go.
So, yeah, how about
time.
that? We're not explicit. If you see that, it will be removed. We don't swear on air.
I think it's gone now.
Is it?
Sure.
Well, that's good. Check and see. We'll give you a live update on that later on in the program. But anyway, we're really excited to have Chris on the team.
We're fine.
Yay.
So
yeah, we're good.
Chris, welcome to the podcast, and we'll be seeing more and hearing more from Chris later on as the show goes on. But so I'm going to turn my chair because I feel awkward staring up.
He wants to converse.
I want to converse.
Opposed to, I'm in the middle. We're on the video. I'm in the middle because I like the attention.
It's much funnier if you watch this on YouTube to see how crazy we really are.
Yeah.
So check out the podcast on
You guys
YouTube
may be
too.
crazy. I don't know about this.
See my gorgeous face all the time.
But so I want to talk a little bit today because I know we may have a stigma out there that, these are a bunch of Christians. They don't know how to have fun. And, they don't read Harry Potter, and they're not going to play Dungeons and Dragons.
I grew up like that. I thought that, I rebelled against Harry Potter when I was little because he was a wizard, and I am a Christian, and that's black magic, and you're learning demons, and
Well, and see, that's what, I remember at Bible school having to hide my Harry Potter books because it's they were burning them back then.
Yeah,
because
I
it was
the book
occult.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a closet Potter fan. I came out as a Potter fan later on in life.
There's a better terminology for that.
No, I'm purposely using it so I can segue into our next segment. Just
Segways.
Segues.
Segways are weird.
They are. But I don't want people who are listening to this to think that hey, the Faith Geek, they're going to be a bunch of these conservative Christians who aren't into the same kind of things that we are. And Chris, you're into the tabletop games.
Oh yeah,
correct? You're playing those constantly.
Oh yeah, I primarily started tabletop games back when I was in college, and I was actually going to a Christian college at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my hallmate buddies were talking about this game, and I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Because I only knew about electronic RPGs and stuff like that at that time. And they were like, oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, you play that? and so they're like, yeah, why don't you come watch us play sometime? I'm like, sure. And so I went, and I'm like, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And actually, it looks pretty cool. When can I jump in?
Yeah, it's called inviting the demon into your heart. That's what that was.
Right. So
Exactly.
yeah, oftentimes D&D is referred to as Satan's game.
Right.
But
well, I remember World of Warcraft, and they still have that kind of stigma where people in the Christian, and I use that term loosely, Christian community, you can't play World of Warcraft because it promotes the occult and everything like that. And I think they're idiots because I have a ton of fun with World of Warcraft, and like I said, I'm a Death Knight, and
Death Knights are fun.
I don't know what we're talking about.
And I just traded my right fielder to the other team, and they money and sports, and I have no idea.
I just did a fancy.
I just traded my field goal guy.
Oh, gee.
Oh, I'm so
We're
using
giving Joe a headache here.
using field goal guy later on when I'm watching football this year. I'm remembering that one.
But
man, we need a better field goal guy. This guy sucks.
Yeah.
Well,
sports. Yeah.
He sported really good.
There's a ball or a stick or something.
Yeah.
Right?
In every sport, there's a ball or a stick.
Mm-hmm.
I know
For the
that
most part,
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, name one sport that doesn't have a ball or a stick.
Well, it depends on what you classify as sport. I don't classify stuff like NASCAR as a sport or the Olympic stuff, like figure skating. Those are their competitions, and they're athletes that are participating, but I don't necessarily consider that sport. Like NASCAR is on ESPN, which is a sports network, and they're definitely athletic to be in the cars because...
But they have sticks, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure they put their, like, when they go in the pit row, they have the sticks that they put down for the car
and they have to do something
stick
to
shift, yes.
They have to
stick shift.
So.
Yeah.
There we go.
Alright, whatever. Yeah, you're fine. Okay.
Yeah.
For those of you who are, like, dancers and figure skaters, I fully believe that that's a sport.
No.
Absolutely.
And cheerleading, I also, because you guys do stuff that there's no way in God's creation that I can do. So...
if you practice hard enough, maybe.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Nah. Sorry, I can't picture you in a cheerleader outfit.
Yeah.
I'd rather not, actually.
Yeah, I'd rather not either.
That's what I wanted to say.
I'm looking at my
going
notes
down a road
for the show,
here.
and I don't see
We're
these
going
on
down
my
a road.
notes. But the whole
on
point of
topic.
all this...
Get back. I'm Lisa, the one that pulls the other way. Let's get back on.
I can see bringing Chris onto the show was a mistake.
Oh, this is horrible. We either talk about sports or... Let's get back to something I know.
So, listen, our whole point is we're not those guys. We're the guys who are in the trenches fighting the Lich King right along with you and casting spells at that dwarf in the hallway. Is that what you do in Dungeons and Dragons? Just go with it. Just say yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
I don't know.
So we are those guys. We're just the whole kind of cool sort of Christian. I think. I think we're the future of what the church is.
At least I hope.
I hope so too. We're
to think about.
A much more, and I don't want this to come out and sound the wrong way, but we're much more accepting and tolerant of ideas.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And art and entertainment. Like 10 years ago, you wouldn't see people from the church going to see movies that we would go and see today. You wouldn't do it. So that leads me into the next segment. We've written several blogs recently about the movie Frozen.
Yeah, Heather wrote one. You wrote one the other day.
Check
those out.
It will not get out of the news cycle. But yeah, make sure you...
Because it's a good movie.
It is a great movie. So check the movie out, first of all. It's an awesome family movie. I enjoyed it. I think my family's probably seen it about 230 times now.
They're watching it right now.
As a matter of fact, it's on right now as we're broadcasting. But unfortunately, there's a couple blogs out there that have picked up steam that are anti-Disney and anti... the movie Frozen
in general.
For whatever reason. And I'll say, like, the only station that we allow our kids to watch in this house that's a kids-related station is Disney. Like, Cartoon Network is more foul than
absolutely.
Disney ever could be.
Well, they know that the adults are going to watch Cartoon Network. Like, I think they cater a lot of their demographic knowing that adults are going to watch that mostly.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cartoon Network's banned from our house, but Disney, like, that's what our kids watch. And there are shows on Disney that Heather and I enjoy because they are family friendly. It's something that we're all going to be able to see. But there's a pastor in particular, his name's Kevin Swanson, who did a radio broadcast, a podcast just last week about the movie Frozen, where he is convinced that it'll turn and I'm using his words now, that movie will turn your son into a sodomite, and it'll lead to bestiality. Sorry, I just have to laugh because you told me Brent texted me this earlier in the week that this is what we're going to talk about on Sunday, and I just love the word choice because it's so old school and it's so. And not old school in a good way at all.
Definitely.
Because there's a lot of stuff that came out of the church in the 90s and in the 80s that's good, old school stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But this mentality is not one of them.
But yeah, I just love because it's a saber rattling word. Anytime you hear sodomite, and anytime you hear bestiality, it's just it's something that perks your ear, that makes you turn up and listen to it. And so when they throw that kind of crap in there is when it's really just like. hey man, it's going to lead you to sodomy. And they're like, oh, what? I don't even know what that is, because most people don't.
Right.
And it's just, a fancy way of saying homosexuality.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, and we're going to play a clip from his program, and we'll talk about it on the other side of that.
He can sponsor us, too.
Yeah. But my challenge is, and I know he's going to listen to this because we're going to tweet it to him as soon as this program's over. Woo! I would love to hear him talk with us how he...
see where this meets up biblically.
Right.
No.
And that's the thing. I mean, we are from a perspective that, Jesus is the savior of the world, but he came for everyone, not just people who are already Christians. And you're not reaching people by putting up barriers like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like, you don't go up to someone, hey, you're a sodomite, but Jesus loves you, but if you don't love him, you're going to hell.
Right. If you get people saved like that, let me know.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, Kevin Swanson, when you hear this, we would love to have you on our program, because I would like to talk to you about where you get your ideas from, and maybe we can learn something from each other through that. But let's go to his clip. He has a co-host on who's like their version of Joe Gerberry, and he's just not as cool.
Is there anybody as cool?
No, and so
exactly,
we've got to give them a little bit of grace, because they
don't have me.
They don't have the Gerbs. So let's go
ahead. The
Gerbs. The one and only Gerbs. So let's go ahead and play that.
Man, how many children are taken into these things, and how many Christians are taking their kids off to see the movie Frozen, produced by an organization that is probably one of the strongest, most pro-homosexual organizations in the country. You wonder sometimes, I'm not a tinfoil hat conspiratorialist, but you wonder sometimes if maybe there's something very evil happening here, Steve.
It makes you wonder.
It makes you wonder, yeah. I mean, if I was the devil, what would I do to really foul up an entire social system and do something really, really, really evil to 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds and Christian families around America?
I think I would make a movie.
I would buy Disney.
Yeah.
If I was the devil, I would buy Disney in 1984.
Yeah.
And that's what I would have done.
And then you start making all these nice little movies that just throw little things in there that make sin look enticing. And in fact, some of the worst of sins, make it look enticing, or at least to start to indoctrinate slowly. Turn the heat up on the frog in the pan.
Friends, this is evil. Just evil. I wonder if people are thinking, I think this cute little movie is going to indoctrinate my 5-year-old to be a lesbian or treat homosexuality or bestiality in a light sort of way. I wonder if the average parent going to see Frozen is thinking that way. I wonder if they're just walking in and saying, yeah, let's get my 5-year-old and 7-year-old indoctrinated early. Steve, they're not.
No.
I think for the most part, they're oblivious. And yet maybe they do pick up on pieces of it, but they just don't get up and walk out.
So that is an amazing clip for those of you who are listening in on the podcast. Like, the idea that the satanic agenda moved into Disney in 1984, I guess to me is just something that he says that he's not a tinfoil hat person.
No, he kind of tinfoil hat.
I would say that he's a tinfoil hat person.
Kind of have a tinfoil hat.
Yeah. It's a far stretch to get out of the movie Frozen a homosexual agenda based upon a 3-second clip where it shows a family in a hot tub.
Is that all it was based off of?
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know.
There's actually a clip in the movie where they go into a tavern, and normally the tavern obviously caters to the summer crowd because it's never winter there. And so the tavern keeper is talking about the sale that they're having on winter clothes, which is very little winter clothes. They have like two items. Okay. And then they cut scene over to his family, or a family, and he's like, "Hi, family." And it's a younger adult boy, and I think a younger girl, and then a younger boy. And their theory is that's his husband, but I actually think it's his son, and the girl that looks younger is actually his wife. But I guess if you want to read into it that that's a gay family,
I don't know.
Sure.
you're stretching
You're
a little bit.
You're wanting to see what you're wanting to see at that point. Right?
If you're looking for something specifically, you're probably going to find it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, even if it were like on the podcast, we were just talking to the YouTube viewers that like it would be a shame for Disney to exclude a particular kind of family, that the gay family unit is something that's part of our society now. And like you are going to start seeing more and more in the mainstream two sets of dads or two sets of mom. I know one of our favorite shows here is a Disney affiliated show. It's on ABC and it's Modern Family. It's one of the best written, funniest shows on television in my opinion, and there's a gay couple on it.
It's hilarious. I've watched it. It's funny.
It doesn't bother us. I mean,
right.
It's led us into some discussions with our children, which is...
Which, not to cut off your point or cut you off, because I do that
all the time.
Quite often.
No.
If you have a problem, like I saw, it was actually a comic online. If it was, and it really kind of hit home. It was like it was a dad and a son. Like, you know, well, why does he have two dads? He goes, well, son, when two people love each other, sometimes you can't control who it is. And it's like, and if you're scared about any follow-up questions, be prepared. And then the son just asks, "Can I have a cookie?" And that's all it is.
Right.
It's just that's all the conversation has to be. You don't have to get into geopolitical nuances with your 5-year-old.
Right.
You know, it's over their head. It's something that they don't necessarily get. You know, it's the idea of, you know, not that I'm calling homosexuality a race, but it's the idea of, you know, a white baby and a black baby together. You know, they don't know that the other, you know, the other one's different. They can't tell the other one's different. I mean, yeah, they don't look the same, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, one's wrong or anything like that.
In Heather's blog about Frozen, she was talking about that we, as the adults, teach the children our prejudices. Absolutely. And, like, it's a shame that we live in a society where we have grown adults out there who are boycotting the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, because of their political agendas. Let the kids go to Scouts to be Scouts. Were you guys ever Scouts?
I was a Cub Scout. I never got to be a Boy Scout.
Were you taught any agenda?
No.
It was about scouting. It was about how to be a better, productive citizen.
Yes.
There's no agenda in it. And I'm sorry, if these organizations are excluding children because of what their parents do, or because these kids feel that they're a particular way, then I wouldn't want my kid to be part of that organization.
Right. No.
Because we shouldn't exclude kids. It's one thing to exclude the adults. Mm-hmm. Sure. But to exclude a 6-year-old boy because he thinks he likes other boys, he's a 6-year-old. He doesn't know.
Right.
I didn't know that I liked girls. Well, I mean, I knew I liked girls, but I didn't, like, actively pursue it until I was 18, 19 years old. So would I have been excluded from an organization like that? Unfortunately, like in today's society, I think I would be. Geeks were excluded from a lot of things back then, and now it's become mainstream.
Nerd culture.
When I was in high school, I got made fun of because I didn't play sports and because I was into gaming and into speech and debate and theater and stuff. But now, like, you're the hottest guy in the world if you do those things.
You're celebrated, yeah.
Like, it's crazy how culture has just shifted, and the idea of what is manly and what's womanly is not necessarily what it was in the 1950s. And I think that's one of the big issues that these people have when they write these blogs, is that the real issue is that the female lead in the movie Frozen is a strong, independent female lead.
No.
And that's not normal. We're used to seeing these female leads, and I use air quotes for lead because they're not leads. They fall behind their Prince Charming. And so now we're seeing a shift in our culture where it's okay for there to be strong women. No. And as a father of 3 daughters, I want that. I want my daughters to know that they don't need anyone to accomplish anything, that they can accomplish it on their own. And I applaud Disney for taking that step out there, knowing that it's going to upset people. But That's
Yeah.
that's my.
That's about right, though.
I know, of course it's right. I said it.
Well.
I'm right about, what, 90%? 99.9% of what I talk about. Okay. Anyway, moving right along. So that,
Are there
hey,
crickets chirping?
yeah, there's crickets all of a sudden in here.
Inside the house.
Inside the house. In the
And
dead of
the
winter.
weather being the way that it is, 20 degrees outside.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of frozen here.
But so
Let it go.
that's our thing, and that's the title of my blog on it is Let It Go. Kevin Swanson. I almost said Ron Swanson. Completely different.
He totally. I don't think he would care at all.
But it's let it go. Like,
my
let our
hero.
kids be kids. Keep
Exactly.
your closed-mindedness to yourself. Quit polluting the gene pool with your negative ideas. And, like, just let kids be kids.
Yeah, definitely.
Let it go. Let it go. All right. I digress. All right.
We're
So,
gonna go from singing "Let It Go."
see, that's the kind of geek show that we are. Fantasy sports.
Woo! I did a draft today. I got one coming up tonight.
Yeah, tell us about it, Joe.
I did a fantasy
So let me
baseball
tune out for
draft.
about 5 minutes. So
I'm in a. I'm in 4 baseball leagues this year, which is about my height, especially with all the stuff we got going on with work and with the website and everything like that. But I had my 3rd, and I will have my final draft tonight. We're actually doing a live draft. It's one of the few times I've gotten to do it for baseball.
will you be tweeting what you're doing live?
I can.
Why don't you tweet that?
I
from
can
the
do that.
Facebook?
I got my Mac tonight. Finally, it came on Saturday. Got it yesterday. So got a Mac. I'll be able to draft off that. I'll
Let
tweet.
It Go's on TV.
I know
right
it
now.
is. I almost want to turn it around and just watch that for a little bit. But anyway, yeah, I'll live tweet. I'll live tweet what I'm doing.
Cool. I think that'd be awesome.
Who I picked and stuff like that. I won't necessarily delve into who I want to pick in case somebody's following me on Twitter. Cause,
Adam Shaw.
and there's a buddy of ours. Actually, there's a couple friends of mine that are following me on Twitter, and so I don't want to.
Hey, Adam, you just got a shout out.
I don't want to give away. I don't want to give away heads up to anybody like that. But I will. It's an AL only draft. So what it is, it's a. It's
Can you speak English?
yes, American League. It's the players in the American League.
Which means what?
There's two basic conferences, leagues in baseball: American League and National League. There's the Cleveland Indians, who are my team, playing the American League.
No, it's baseball where they throw that ball and they catch
And
it.
then they hit up with a
Oh,
bat.
that's the one with
That's
the
the
wood.
one with the
stick.
ball
and the
Bat.
stick.
Yeah, okay.
The one with the both. Yes, you're right.
I'm not that bad. I own season tickets to our local baseball team, so I'm good.
But it is a 5x5. So what it is we've changed it up a little bit. There's 5 hitting categories and there's 5 pitching categories.
Okay.
So what we did instead of the usual 5x5 categories is runs, home runs, RBI, steals, and average. We swapped out this year. We went a little bit analytical. We swapped out average and went to on base percentage, which is instead of the average batting average is how many times out of 1,000 you get a hit. So
Okay.
if you bat 100 times and get 33 hits, your batting average is 33.
Okay.
Okay, makes sense.
No.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Kind of.
Anyway, on base percentage is your ratio of how often you get on base, so it includes walks. It's a more analytical way of doing it. It's what more teams.
So it's
focus
kind of
on.
geeky.
It
in
is
way.
a little geeky.
Okay, yeah, I like
It's
that.
Trying to make a little.
it's a little bit more analytics. It's a lot more how baseball teams are actually starting to scout and pay attention to their teams and in the league, and because they realize that if you walk, it's basically the same as getting a single. You're on first base either way,
Right.
and so you're trying to get as many guys on base as you can, so that you can score as many runs as you can.
Right.
So we've adapted our league this year. I don't know how many years it's been going on. This is only my 2nd time in the league, but it's a long-term keeper league. So
How much money's on the line?
I think there's some jelly beans on the line, and I think it's around about 25 jelly beans.
Is it legal to do this?
Yeah.
Okay.
We say jelly beans just because I don't.
Well, I wasn't sure if
a-
that's
no.
a keyword for It's like prohibition
crap.
time.
It's crap. Silly beans versus crap. That's what it means. I've got 25 rocks coming to me if I win.
Oh boy!
Again, I have no idea what you're saying. I'm kidding. Because of Breaking Bad, I've been exposed to the drug culture.
I loved Breaking Bad. I actually play fantasy baseball in the league I drafted today.
I thought you were going to say you play fantasy meth making.
I play fantasy baseball with one of the writers, or one of the producers on the show. Shout out Andy Ortner. Listen to watch Breaking Bad. Listen to this podcast. You probably won't, but it's okay.
So cool. So that's what's going on in fantasy.
I got that going on tonight. I'll be heading down here almost as soon as we're done. We start drafting at 5, so I got to go home, pick up some stuff.
So you'll be live tweeting from your.
Why
don't you do that from the Faith Geek?
I can do it from Faith Geek. I got it on my phone, so
okay.
I'll do that. That'd be great. I'll follow us along. Faith Geek at the Faith Geek.
Cool. Chris, what's going on in entertainment? I know there's some releases coming out movie wise.
Yeah, that's I think there's kind of 3 main movies I'm keeping my eye on this coming weekend. There's the new Muppet movie coming on, which I know you don't really like that.
Yeah, I was just going to interject. For those of you who don't know,
Brent hates Muppets.
I've got to talk about this.
No.
The movie The Labyrinth scares me.
Which it did a lot of people, though, so you're not, like, alone.
But I'm an adult, and I'm afraid of it still. Like, I was afraid of it back then, but even more so now. And let me tell you, like, I'm not afraid of things. Like, I own guns, and I work in security privately. And so, like, I've taken on some pretty crazy things. People
and
twice the
Muppets
size
from
of
Labyrinth scare you.
But the Muppets from Labyrinth absolutely terrify me.
That's what gets me, is it's the Muppets that scare you more than anything else.
Yes, it's not David Bowie in pants like 7 sizes too small that scared me. It's the Muppets.
Yeah.
So that translates over into anything that Jim Henson has done.
See, I don't have any problem with Jim Henson because I've watched and loved him my whole life. Love the Muppet movies in general. These newer ones, I haven't been as big on them, but they're still pretty funny, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this one's going to be.
I like the first one.
Yeah. I still haven't seen it.
And Amy Adams.
Yeah.
Well,
who can't love Amy Adams?
Absolutely.
who can't? Amy Adams. We at the Faith Geek have geek crushes.
Come on,
Yeah,
come on.
Please come and talk to us sometime.
Please. Please.
I'm sure it won't be the whole Chris Farley show from SNL. Do you remember when you did that?
No.
That was awesome. That's what the show was on SNL. I'm old.
Well, you are old, but I mean, I'm older than you. I don't.
You're older than me too.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest one
Not
here.
by a lot, but
Woo!
thanks.
Woo!
SNL sucks now. I don't even watch it
It
anymore.
was back in the day. It was when Chris Farley was alive.
Like, the
he
good
did this
comedians
thing.
were
He
on.
did this thing called the Chris Farley Show, and he would have the guest on, whoever the guest was, whether it be music guest or the movie guest or whoever, and they'd be like, "So do you remember? Like in the movie when you did that scene?"
I'm still trying to figure out
awesome.
what this has to do with Amy Adams. I thought
That's what we would be doing to Amy Adams.
Absolutely.
It would not. Yeah, I was saying it wouldn't be like that, but you're saying it would be.
So Amy, Joe will fly you out here to Northeast Ohio to come hang out with the Faith Geek. All on us.
Yeah.
Well, on Joe.
Yeah, Joe's got it covered.
We can maybe make it happen.
Anyway, so we've got the Muppet movie coming up this next weekend. Let's see. There's also
I don't think Amy Adams is even in.
no. Actually, Tina Fey's in this one.
You know, Tina Fey vacations in Northeast Ohio.
Hey, there we go.
It was in her book, Cleveland.
It was in 30 Rock.
But it was also in her book that she comes here.
Like people from New York holiday in Cleveland as like a way to get out of.
And people from Cleveland holiday in New York.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah,
but we've cut Chris off like 10 times.
Yeah,
what will happen?
Like
get ready.
I'm sure it's going to
keep doing this with the two of us.
You know,
when I'm gone, you'll be able to talk whatever you want.
Anyway. And let's see, we've also got Divergent coming up. To me, it looks like kind of another Hunger Games sort of series. That's just kind of the whole feel that I'm getting from it. I'm sure there's probably some people reading the books out there that could tell me a lot differently, but that's just my first impression I'm getting. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. And also a more Christian-based film called God's Not Dead. And it's been hearing some things here and there about this. And it's primarily about...
He's not, guys. He's really not.
What?
God's not dead. He's not. He's not really dead.
Okay.
Okay, Joe. Okay.
That was deep, man. That was deep.
I moved. Quite moved. Anyway, it's about...
Listen, they're not always gold, alright?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that.
Anyway, this God's Not Dead movie is about this college freshman who runs into some issues with his professors as far as confronting him about his faith. Mm-hmm. And so it's about this debate that him and his professor eventually have.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of debates, the Noah movie's coming out, in 2 weeks? 2 weeks. And there's a debate out there whether or not that this movie's biblical enough for Christians to go see.
Oh my gosh.
And
it's a movie about something in the Bible. Just go see it.
Okay, people, you remember
God bless America.
the Ten Commandments back when that first came out?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think that was entirely 100% accurate. This is basically the same thing. It's just, they're taking their own spin of a very popular story.
Right.
Plus Emma Watson's in it. So
who doesn't live on
Yeah,
and Jennifer Connelly. Hey,
Jennifer Connelly. Yes, we know where she's from.
She's got to be my woman crush Wednesday.
Yeah. Listen, Christians listening to this, you are doing yourself a disservice if you do not go see Son of God and the Noah movie, because they're going to stop making them. So go out and support these movies. No, they're not 100% biblically accurate, but guess what? What your pastor's preaching on Sunday probably isn't 100% biblically accurate either. Yet you still go back every Sunday. So go to the movie theater.
Are you living 100% biblically accurate?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, busted.
Yeah.
So go out, support these movies.
That was a good moment. We had a good convergence. That was great.
Show Hollywood that even though that they put their own spin on things, that we're going to support movies with a biblical basis to them. I know. I'm excited. I think it's in May that the new Left Behind comes out with Nicolas Cage.
What?
You guys don't know about that.
I hear about this.
Oh my gosh! Nicolas Cage is in the new Left Behind reboot.
Oh, that's
my gosh.
Amazing.
Oh.
I'm looking this up later.
Oh, I'm so excited for this now. Is he going to try to find what happened?
Okay, here is your assignment.
With the rapture on the back of a dollar bill?
Yes. Here's what we're going to do. Next week, we are devoting our entire show to Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
I'd be up for that.
Okay. So, next week, our entire show is all Nicolas Cage based. The best of Nicolas Cage.
We're either going to get a lot of people following or nobody following.
But either way, it's going to be awesome, I think.
Sure.
Yeah. But anyway, the point is, go out and support these movies. I think the Noah movie is going to be awesome. I can't wait to go see it.
I'm looking forward to it.
My son Noah is totally stoked because he thinks it's a movie all about him. He's 4. He doesn't quite get the whole concept of what he was named after. So he's really excited to go see the Noah movie. We'll be taking him to the premiere of that. But go out and see these movies. Chris, which premiere you're going to go see this week? Do you know?
Oh, gee. That's kind of a toss-up between Muppet Movie and Divergent at this point.
I think you should go see Divergent.
I would go with Divergent.
That's what I was thinking.
Not just because Brent doesn't like Muppets.
No. Well, I was thinking maybe...
Boycott the
girl's-
Muppet movie.
I was going to say, maybe we should have your wife do that.
Yeah, I gotta see the Muppet.
My sister was all excited about it, and we don't really talk about stuff. I'm like, you're just excited because the girl from... There's a show, ABC Family. It was like... the girl in Divergent is in the show. I don't have any idea about names of things, but...
You're talking sports again.
I'm just talking in circles here.
Yeah, he just gets all sportsy. All right, guys. So tune in next week, next Sunday at 2:00, same bat time, same bat channel, where we are covering everything there is to do with Nicolas Cage. Who is my personal hero.
If we can get him on, we'll ask him if he wants to build a snowman.
Yes.
Do you want to build a snowman?
So, Thanks for tuning in again this week. This has been Brent Whetstone, the Faith Geek. Joined live today with the Snowman Boy, Joe Gerberry.
The Gerbs at Twitter.
And I know we need a name for Chris.
Fanboy Chris.
Fanboy Chris.
Fanboy Chris. Fanboy Chris.
I'll go with that.
Fanboy Chris, Snowman Joe, and the Faith Geek Brent. All signing out. You guys have a great day. We'll see you next week.
Man, how many children?
Thank you for listening to the Faith Geek Podcast. The Faith Geek Podcast is brought to you by thefaithgeek.com, your online Christian resource for all things geek culture. Remember, you can always listen to this and any of our archive shows by visiting www.thefaithgeek.com.